Hello everyone, it's Marc Sabatella from Mastering MuseScore here, and welcome to the Music Masterclass. This is my weekly series where we talk about making music. We talk about composing, arranging, playing by ear, improvising, all sorts of things that have to do with creating your own music. So I think it was on my end. But just so you know, I'm sitting here like everything's all hunky-dory, done all my tests and everything, and 1 minute before the hit time, my internet went down. I think it was just on my end, but, it's just one of those things. It went down, I unplugged my Ethernet cable, plugged it back in, internet came back, and I had to reset a bunch of things. So it's possible that during that period, that might have to do with why things, you might have had to do funny things to get in this morning. Maybe. Don't know. It's always, it's gotta love technology. It makes this possible, but it's frustrating too, right? So what we are going to be talking about here is, we're going to be dealing with what we've been dealing with in the basic music theory course. And, so this week we're talking about minor keys and scales, and good to know, Dawn, that happens every week for you. It could be a browser issue. I don't know. Certain operating systems, certain browser combinations might have certain issues. So hard to say. But I'm glad anyhow that refreshing gets you in. So that is good news. And the whole thing with why my pinned chat here is like missing some information, not sure what's going on with that. I tested that also yesterday and it was working. So technical stuff, whatever. Let's talk about music. Way more fun. So I'm going to talk some about minor keys, and we're going to do some ear training kind of stuff here. And so the thing I was actually working on doing when my internet went down, I have to redo this now, is I'm going to go grab the thing, the eyes and ears. I was just getting ready to download where that is. And I'm thinking that if I was smart, I would have bookmarked that. And I'm not totally sure that I did, to be honest. And I know you can get to it various places, but there we go. Eyes and ears. And then I click on site.pdf. So here is this. So we're going to be using this some today and doing some sight singing kind of stuff, but I want to try a couple of different things here for a number of reasons. But one of the things that I want to talk about is, we talked about the whole memory aspect and trying to memorize bits of music as they come along, so that you can get them in your head and then transcribe them. And so when we did some transcription exercises a couple weeks ago, we did that trying to use memory. Well, what I want to try this time is something that we're going to turn that around a little bit. We're going to use memory in our sight singing, and we're going to do this by not looking at the sheet music. In other words, I'm going to show it to you briefly, and then we're going to see if we can remember it. And this is just a useful skill in general. Again, we're improving our memory, our ability to see patterns in the music and memorize them. But it also comes up, and you always hear me talk about working with blind musicians, the idea that you might, if you're trying to sight sing, you might read through the piece first and then sing it, or hear it first and then sing it. There's going to be memory a lot that is used, and we're going to try to develop those memory skills because they're great ear training skills. So what I'm going to do is jump into some random piece of music here, and it's going to be this. Let's see. I'm going to go with, I'm looking for one that's, we'll go with a relatively simple one. We're going to go with number 188 here on the screen. And zoom in a little more. 188. There we go. So I'm going to walk through it. We're going to look at it. We're going to talk about it. you all look at this number 188 here, and I'm going to talk through it. And so if you're not actually looking at the screen right now, then that's fine. We're going to talk through it, and then we're going to try to do it from memory. I'm going to scroll it off. So it's in the key of F minor, right? Four flats. We know they're minor keys. If you didn't already know this was a chapter on minor keys, and you're looking at this wondering, well, is it A flat major or F minor? We would do things like, gee, look how it starts. It starts by emphasizing the tonic triad in F minor, and it ends on an F. Those are pretty good clues that it's in F minor and not A flat major. So let's look at this. It's I'm going to go through it with, I guess I'm going to use scale degrees. You know, I talk about in my videos that I'm ambivalent about the whole solfege stuff. I see value in it, but on the other hand, it also confuses the heck out of me, and especially in minor keys where you have do-based minor and la-based minor, kind of a pain. So I'm going to go with scale degrees. So this is 1, 3, 1. 1 flat 3 1. So what I'm going to do is I also hedge on that, whether I call this scale degree 3 or call it scale degree flat 3. Right? In a minor key, we know thirds are usually flatted, so I might, just out of laziness, say 3. When I come to 6 or 7, I'm probably going to be a little more explicit about it. So we've got 1, 3, 1. And by the way, it's in 2, 4. And I kind of want to get the rhythm. It's 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 5, 5, 6, 5. So I'm just saying those notes in rhythm. So say them along with me. And I called this 6 instead of flat 6 because it's easier to say. And I only had an eighth note to say it. So I want you to say that along with me. You don't have to sing yet. We're just going to say it. 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 5, 5, 6, 5. So it's definitely, as the text above a little bit said, a bit above said, we're dealing with the tonic triad here. And now we're going to jump up to the tonic again, 1, high 1, so 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, 3, coming down, right? 1, 5, 3, we're going down that tonic triad, and then 3, 2, 1. So the rhythm of the second half is the same as the rhythm of the first half. Do you catch that? Bum, 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 and then again, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum. So say that with me. Just use bum bum bums if you want to use, you know, toddy, takadimis, whatever other syllables you want for the rhythms. By all means, go ahead. I'm just going to go ba ba ba. So let's go. Let's just talk through that rhythm. Bum 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 ba ba bum ba ba bum. All right, I'm going to scroll it off. Let's do that again. You got that in your head, right? I'll just count 2 and let's just say that rhythm again. 1, 2. Bum, 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 ba ba bum, ba ba bum, 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 ba ba bum, ba ba bum. This time I was a little more accurate about actually holding out that half note. All right, let's do the rhythm is the easy part. Let's go one more time to review the pitch, and then we'll try to sing it. So I'm going to say it with numbers, and you can say it with me, and then we're going to try to sing. If you want to jump ahead and try to sing now, you can, but I want to conceptualize this before I sing it a little bit. 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 5, 5, 6, 5. High 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, 3, 3, 2, 1. Now, do those numbers really help me as much as I would like? Not entirely, because if I just say 5 and 1, I don't know which octave they're in. If I say 1, 5, I don't know if that's 1 up to 5 or 1 down to 5. So, you know, you've got to know the actual pitches, and so actually looking at the music helps, or having me say high 1, and then everything else is within that octave. All right. Dun, dun, dun. So I'm going to try it. You're going to try it with me. Okay? One last look. Let's scroll it off. I'm going to count to 2. I'll give you 2 bars to think about it. Oh, let's get an F. Now, all right. I haven't dealt with like playing notes on the piano and thinking about their pitches yet, but I did hear the masterclass theme music in A minor, and my brain is kind of telling me I think where an F is, and I think it's bum. Yeah. So I still don't have perfect pitch. I'm not going to have perfect pitch, um, but every once in a while I'm pretty confident. And Bob, can you just say eight? I mean, you can. It's not traditional. Traditional is just to come back to one. And at some point, you're going to run out, right? At some point, you're going to, like, if the melody goes up 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, you're going to be stuck. Same with what about notes below the tonic? Like this melody here, the 189 goes both up to 5, but also down to 5, right? It goes 1 up to 5 and 1 down to 5. So, yeah, we need other techniques. All right. Have I talked enough that we've forgotten that melody? I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. You're all gonna give it a shot with me. I'm gonna count to 2 twice. So I'll give you 2 bars of 2, and then we're gonna try to sing this thing. 1, 3, 1. That's how it starts. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 5, 5, 6, 5. 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1. All right. I think I got it. Did y'all do it? How you tell me how you guys did with that? I think that was right. I'm going to do it again. I got tongue-tied on the numbers. I know what I was trying to sing, but just trying to put syllables to it is still like an extra brain thing. I still feel like I'm just going to be better off going da 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 da. So I'm going to skip the numbers this time. I think I've got the numbers in my head. I'm going to give us 2 bars of 2 again. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ba da dum, boo da 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 dum. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum. All right. So a couple people saying did good. Colleen having trouble there. But, this is why we practice these things. And, if something is then too hard to do that way, one of the things to do is break it down. Like, say, maybe just think about the first 2 bars. The first 2 bars plus 1 note. Boo-da-dum, boo-da-dum. You want to have boo-dum. I'm drifting sharp, which is unusual for me. I usually drift flat. No, I personally, I notice myself lately, I've been drifting sharp more than I drift flat. But in general, population as a whole, drifting flat is more common. So, maybe just focus on Buddha-dum and really being able to place that third, minor third, right? Getting that melody. 1, flat 3, 1, do, me, do, if you're using do-based minor, la, do, la, if you're using la-based minor. You get to try all those, try little bits of things until you get more comfortable. And as you get more comfortable, you get better at it. So let's do it again, this time looking at the music, and then we'll try another one. So I'll give us 2 bars, and this time you can look at the music. 1, 2, 1, 2, ba-da-dum, boo-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, ba-da-dum. Now, I'm questioning my choice of octave because that high F is pretty high for me. But these next couple are in the same key, but are going to have to get... Oh, no, this bottom one I'm not going to do in that octave. I'll have to take it down. But the 189, I'm going to do in that same octave. So let's take the same approach here. Let's just take the first phrase. I'm covering up on my screen, but that's, of course, not working for you. You guys aren't seeing that, so I'm going to cover it up this way. There we go. So we're going to try to do this one. So it's a 1, 5, and then it's a walk up to 5, and then a walk down to 2. I feel like that's enough. That plus the rhythm might be enough. It's 1, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. That might be enough. Might be enough for me to get this thing. 1, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4, 3, 2. Who's with me? Let's try just that much. Can we still remember F? F. Yeah, I keep drifting. All right. I'm going to give us 2 bars of 2 again, and we're going to try just that much. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 3, 2. Nope. I think my pitches, my brain trying to make numbers happen, isn't doing it. So, did you all do better than me? Yeah, I bet some of you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Da da da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm gonna try it again. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. So at that length, I wasn't quite there. I tried to make a half note happen, is what happened. I tried to make a half note happen on that top C there in the 3rd bar. And it's only a quarter note. And that's how I got off. And John, wanting the line to somehow come back to 1. Naturally, we might want to do that. So that's one of the things you want to consciously look at and I did my first time, I don't know, I think because I made this into a half note on the C, when I started descending, I descended too far also. And I think it had to do with a rhythmic error that caused me to do it. But what you want to do is analyze what went wrong. Think through what went wrong. So let me take that one and try that. 1, 5. And now, first of all, I'm hoping that I get that 5 right. I feel myself scooping up to that. I think my head is still 1, 3, 1. I think I'm still hearing that in my head. So I'm having to force myself up to that 5. 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you're coming all the way down to 1, is it because you're going 5, 3, 2, 1? Or is it because you're going 5, 4, 3, 5, 4. I'm singing 5, 4, but I'm singing 3, right? I think those of you who made it all the way to the tonic, that is my guess, is you probably missed 4. Probably. So, Allison, I'm glad that you're nailing this stuff, and I think you're probably one of the more advanced people in here as far as actual ability to do this kind of stuff. Is my guess here. I struggle and I work on it is what I do. So I think this is what happens a lot. I think a lot of people are probably going to miss that scale degree 4 and jump too far. And if you jump too far and go 5, 4, but you say 4, but you're really singing 3, and then you go 4, 3, and you say 3, but you're really singing 2, and then you sing 2, but you're really singing 1. I think that's what's happening for a fair amount of us, because I'll bet I did it. I bet I would do it. And so, yes, Stephen, you're absolutely right that 2 is part of the tonic, is part of the dominant triad. And if we were hearing this with harmony, 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ba, I'm singing it wrong, boo, da. I would sort of hear this 5 chord happen on that G, and I would probably fix the melody. And that happens. If you make a mistake somewhere, you're going to be off forever until something happens to set you right. And hearing the harmony underneath you can be one of those things. Once you understand enough about what's going on with the harmony and understand how to look at a melody and guess what's happening harmonically, or maybe there's chord symbols. So, as we get into the next part of the course, dealing with chords, we will look at things like this, trying to sing over chord symbols. And we actually tried some exercises with that several months back. It was an interesting experience, but we're going to do more of that going forward. So, all right, let's look at the rest of that melody now. The rest of that melody, Ba-da-da-dum. So I've sung that thing wrong so many times. I got to sing it right a few times. 5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2. You might want to sing that with me. 5, 4, 3, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Now we're going to sing the next part, which is sort of the similar thing flipped upside down. 1, 5, and then jump up to the top 5 and walk down. And then a little leading tone thing. So I didn't say every single number. This time I will. It's 1, low 5, high 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, raise 7, 1. Okay, so I'm saying my numbers now relative to the minor key. I called that raised 7. You'll notice I'm not going to be consistent about this. Sometimes I'll just call, if I say 7, sometimes I'll mean E flat, and sometimes I'll mean E natural, and we're going to have to just figure it out based on context. And that's not because I'm screwing up. It's because that in real life, context really does determine these things, and people aren't fully consistent about this stuff. The one time I'm consistent about it, by the way, is Roman numerals. Very consistent with Roman numerals. I'm always doing those relative to the major key. All right, so let's try this one here. So 1. So we're going to try this thing and give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to talk through it again. 1, 5, low 5, and then high 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, leading tone 1. All right? Think that through. Same rhythm, quarter, quarter, whole bunch of eighths, quarter, quarter, half. All right. I'm going to try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, leading tone 1. Yeah. Good. I got that. How did you all do? And Colleen, why would you quit using Roman numerals? They're going to be really useful. Well, you'll see as we get into the harmony stuff going forward into the chords. Hopefully, you'll find them more useful. But as we get, when we go back to the harmony course, which I want to do after this course, we're going to get really deep into that. So 7, 1. 1, 7, 1, 1, leading tone 1, call it what you want, do, ti, do, or if you're using law-based minor, it's la, si, la, which is one reason I don't like law-based minor, because that just doesn't ring to me like do, ti, do does. I know do, ti, do. So what I'm going to say about Roman numerals is, just to read the charts, you don't need them. But to understand what's going on harmonically and then be able to reharmonize, make reharmonizations on the fly, helping with transposition, transposing by ear, you'll find thinking Roman numerals to be useful. So would I assign Roman numerals based on A flat or F? F. F for sure. And the way I label them, and you'll see this when I post these lessons coming up in a couple weeks, I label them like if I have an F chord, I call that 1. If I have an A flat chord, I call that flat 3 in Roman numerals. Yes, it's scale degree 3, but my Roman numerals I always give relative to the major scale. I am 100% consistent about that. So Roman numeral wise, I will always call that a flat 3 chord. All right. Let's try to do this whole melody now. And so the thing is, every time I go on a little tangent and talk, we forget things. And, well, that's life. So we're going to just take a quick look at it again and see if we can do the whole thing again. So it's that 1, 5, and then walk up to the 5. And this time we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to be careful about that. 5, 4, 3, 2. And then we have that 1, low 5, high 5 walk down. All right? Talked it through. 1, high 5, and then walk up from 1 to 5, and then 4, 3, 2. And then 1, low 5, high 5, walk down to the 1, 7, 1. All right, I'm going to hide it, and we're going to try it. Starts off with 1, high 5, right? Yeah, boy, I'm testing my memory already. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 1, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, no, 1. How did I mess that up? 1. So I want to think through that last phrase. I'm going to try to remember it. I'm going to try to remember it. 1, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I wasn't supposed to come back to 1. That's what happened, right? I came back to 1 and I wasn't supposed to. That's what I did wrong. All right. I want to do that second phrase again. You're going to do it with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 1. We all there? Now we're going to do the whole thing again because I screwed up. I screwed up. We all have to do it again. Here we go. And it's going to be 1, high five, 1. So that one does come back to 1. The second one doesn't. That's what I got to remember. Notice, I'm not remembering every single pitch. I'm not memorizing. I'm not like memorizing the look of the paper. I'm not memorizing the entire sequence of numbers. I'm just remembering the things that I'm getting wrong and analyzing, well, what did I get wrong about it, and what do I need to understand to get it right next time? These are the questions that we're going to constantly ask ourselves, and I'm going to come back to that Roman numeral thing in a second because it's going to apply to that as well. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to do the whole thing. You're going to do it with me. 1, 5, 1 is how it starts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 1. All right. I got it. How are you guys doing? How are y'all doing with this? So definitely be telling me in the chat about this. But this process, when you go through sight singing stuff, definitely treat it as a learning thing. It's not just I messed up, too bad, haha. No, it's okay, you messed up. Learn from that. Figure out what went wrong and work on that. Work on that section, figure it out. But don't let that working on it be just playing it on the piano and finding out how it really goes and then singing it, because then you haven't learned anything, right? I'm trying to learn this. That's why I'm not just doing this by playing everything for me. So I want to come back to that thing that I just said about Roman numerals, except now I've forgotten what it was. I know I wanted to relate what I just said to Roman numerals. Man. Memory. Whatever I was saying, I was going to relate it to Roman numerals, but it had to do with learning chord progressions, and but it's fading from my brain. So oh well, whatever. We're not really talking about chord progressions yet. We will. We'll talk. Just so you know, A flat. Yeah, it's something more than that though. Oh. Yeah, this idea of memorizing, I think it was this, and even if it wasn't this might as well be it. I do the same thing when I'm trying to memorize a chord progression. If I'm learning a new song and there's a whole sequence of chords, just like these melodies, I'm not learning them one note at a time or one chord at a time. I'm looking for patterns. Like this pattern here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's not 5 things to memorize. That's one thing to memorize, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You wouldn't need to say that. The only thing you had to know is where that thing started. That's how I screwed up this second one right here, is I went to the wrong place. I didn't start it in the right place. All I have to know is where that pattern starts, and then I'm not going to mess it up. This other measure here, I messed up a little bit because of the rhythm, and the other things caused me to want to jump from 5 to 3, and so I want to learn that that's a mistake I make. But the point is, I'm not memorizing the entire sequence of numbers. I'm not memorizing the whole sequence of numbers. I'm looking for patterns like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a pattern. Well, in chord progressions, we have 2, 5, 1. We have 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. We have 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. We've got all sorts of really common patterns that will eventually be as easy to memorize as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so all we're really doing is noticing the exceptions to the patterns and then kind of learning those and making sure that we're cool with where those are. So John's question is a really good one. And, it's even though we're not officially talking about chords, obviously we are talking about chords, and I continue to talk about chord because you really can't fully divorce talking about melody from talking about chords. I mean, technically you can. They did it in the Renaissance, but we can't unlearn what we've learned already, and we can't unhear 300 years of music that has, come after the Renaissance, right? We can't not hear tonal music, music based on chords. And so we're going to be things like these tonic triad exercises. This is part of how melodies work. So the question is about modulation from A flat to F minor. There is no one great answer, is the quick answer to that, Colleen. So, John, what I would say is if it's really quick and you're just visiting the key of F minor briefly, then it's not worth notating that happened. If, on the other hand, you really go there for, more than just 2 bars, then yeah, that we will change the tonic. And so I'll give you a really classic example from the jazz world. Here is a Thelonious Monk tune, if I can remember how it goes, which I think I can, called In Walked Bud. I don't remember the dang tune. That's how that piece goes, right? Something like that. It's based on the chord progressions to Blue Skies. So I'm going to try that one now. Blue skies, la, da, 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 nothing but blue skies do I see. So it starts off in F minor, right? 1-5-1 in F minor. Then it's 1-5-1 in E flat. 1, 5. So in that piece, it's kind of balanced pretty well between a 1-5-1 in F minor and then a 1-5-1 in A flat. So this is like kind of borderline. Do I try to say, oh, that's exactly what happened, or do I just put all the Roman numerals in as if it was A flat major, or put them all in as if it was an F minor? All of those are valid things to do, to be honest, and there's no right or wrong. Whatever helped you conceptualize it the best is my answer there. So even though I say we're not talking about chords and we are talking about chords, the same is going to have to do with putting numbers. Like if I want to talk about what these scale degrees are, 1, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm in A flat. 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. Do I do that, or does that mess me up? I think that one messes me up. I think for that one, I would rather keep the numbers in the key of A flat and call this 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 1, I think, if I were to put numbers on it. But it's you see my brain starting to explode as I try to do that, right? It's just a little complicated either way. I don't think verbally when I'm doing this stuff. I really don't. There's like, am I picturing the notes on the staff in my head? You see me close my eyes a lot when I do this. No, I'm not really picturing staff notes. Am I picturing a piano keyboard? Maybe. I think I'm picturing something more abstract and being abstract here. And so that's that. And Allison, this is a good point about sight reading modes and the fact that this means you're going to have natural minor, but also Dorian, and occasionally perhaps Phrygian, especially at cadences and so forth. So yeah, you'll be dealing with that sort of stuff and having different tonics on the same pitches, and so you end up with different sets of things. But the specific case that comes up all the time in tonal music is going to be that relationship between relative major and relative minor. So with that in mind, I'm going to change gears entirely here and try something totally wild, and you're going to transcribe it. All right. So here's the thing. Y'all know I talk about Star Trek a lot because I like it. And Picard season 3 just finished off its thing. One of the most famous episodes of Star Trek Next Generation, the whole Picard version of things, involved Captain Picard through, science fiction, mumbo jumbo, finding himself on a planet stranded with no connection to the rest of his ship or anything, and he spends the rest of his life in this episode on this planet. And at first he's like, wait a minute, I need to get back to my ship. I need to get back to my ship. And he can't get back to his ship. And so finally he's like, okay, I guess I live here now. And he goes through the entire episode living his life out on that planet and learns to play some sort of flute, which essentially looks to me like an Irish flute. But it's close enough to recorder. And he learns a song that's like a folk song of that planet, and that gets used as theme music throughout it. And I'm going to try to play this thing, and you guys are then going to transcribe it. Okay? So it starts off in major and ends in minor. And I'm going to play you, it's in D. D major or B minor. So let's sing that, and you can sing whatever you want, numbers. I'm going to sing numbers from 1, and I want you to sing up and down with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, and then come back down. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to come to B minor and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm singing that slower because I'm being real careful about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I'm singing those pitches. Now we're going to do it with the leading tone, harmonic minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, raise 7, 1, and coming down, 1, raise 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to mess with melodic minor because I gave my whole diatribe about that one, and so I don't want to go into it again. But feel free to read it from the newsletter. Okay, so here's the deal. That whole thing about raising the seventh to create a leading tone. I'm not enough of a historian to say when that started to really be a thing, but all I can say is, if you go back more than 1,000 years, it was not. So if you go back more than 1,000 years, if you were going to be in minor, you were just in minor. That idea of raising that leading tone is on a regular basis and actually notating it and considering it a bona fide part of the music rather than just an occasional thing some singer would do and then get slapped for. It's less than 1,000 years old, that idea of raising the leading tone in that way. Ish. So a lot of folk music traditions don't do that much. And so when Allison talks about modal music, a lot of that tradition of the church modes is also reflected in the folk music of this time, the Middle Ages. And a lot of that music, songs that are that old, will be in minor keys without leading tones. And so in this particular piece, in this fictional planet that Picard found himself stranded on, it's going to be that. It is not going to have that raised leading tone. Okay? So I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to start off in the key of D major. It's going to end in the key of B minor. And it doesn't have a leading tone when it does that. doesn't have that raised. It doesn't have that A raised. Now, I don't know the whole melody. I'm going off my memory of having seen this episode, more than once. We'll leave it at that. But I haven't seen it lately, and so I'm going off my memory of this melody. So I'm going to play a version of it on the recorder, and then I'm going to try to cement it into, because it shows up in various different guises with different lengths and so forth. So I'm going to play a version of it, and then you guys are going to transcribe this thing. All right, so I think it starts on scale degree 5. And that took me a while to realize. I thought it started with 3, 2, 1, but it really starts 5, 4, 3. So that's one of the things I have to consciously remember about this piece. A lot of it is just following the patterns, but a conscious thing I'm going to remember, it starts with 5, 4, 3. So it goes something like this. Nope, not quite that. I'm going to try to play it again. This time I'm not going to try to do it on the recorder. I'll do it on the piano, but we are going to not look at my hands. We're going to not look at my hands, so the easiest way I can do that is change my screen share to stop that camera. There we go. Ha ha ha. Now you can't see my hands. All right. Let's just stop there. It's only in D major so far. Think through that. Sing it along with me, or sing it along with me playing it, and try to write it out. Write it out on staff paper if you got some handy. Just scribble down the pitches. Do whatever it takes to think about what that melody is. I'm telling you, it starts 5. So in the key of D, there's my tonic triad. It starts with a 5. I'm going to play it again. Okay, I'll play it one more time. So, let's talk about everything we can talk about with that melody. First, time signature. I've never thought about the time signature for this before, but now I want to think about it. I'm going to play it again, and this time be thinking time signature. I think it starts on beat 1. It doesn't have a pickup. So you all tell me, what time signature are we in? I think it's pretty clear. It's not ambiguous. It's not like row, row, row your boat. No, yeah, you're right. 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And one of the clear signs of this is all the long notes happen on beat 1 in that, right? There's a long note, a dotted quarter, 1, and then, moving parts, and then long note, a half note. Bum, do, long, short, long, right? The long notes are all happening every 3 beats pretty regularly in that pattern. So, yeah, it makes it pretty clear that way. So, what are the pitches now? I'll play it one more time. Write out type in the pitches. So, write them down, think them through, but type them in. You can write in numbers, you can write in letter names, you can write in solfege syllables, don't really care, whatever works for you. Steven's got A, G, F sharp, D, D, E, A, F sharp. This is absolutely true. And Allison's got some good history here about chromatic alterations in which the certain alterations are the only ones that would happen. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to like say, oh, I know exactly which year which alterations came in, but I've made this point throughout the course that the way the accidentals came about wasn't an accident. Pun inevitable. In that, if you're dealing with the Dorian mode, you're going to need a C sharp. You're going to need a C sharp to have a leading tone in a Dorian mode. So that's one of the accidentals you'll get. Or if you're dealing with Aeolian mode, you're going to need a G sharp to give yourself a leading tone. Or if you're dealing with Mixolydian mode, you're going to need an F sharp to give you a leading tone. Conversely, if you're dealing with things like the Lydian mode, you're going to have this tritone here, so we're going to want to eliminate that with a B flat. And similar, the E flat is going to be, we're going to flatten certain scale degrees to allow, the B flat is also going to be used to allow things like wanting to have an Aeolian mode but starting on D. We're going to want that note to make an Aeolian mode sound, but with D as its finals. All of these accidentals came about for very specific reasons. All right, so Stephen's got the answer to that, and that is the correct answer. But now I'm going to play where it moves into minor. So it starts off... Nope. Let me get this right. Something like that. We're going to call it that. So then it goes we're going to call it that, all right? I might be a little off, but again, the melody shows up a bunch of different ways. So I'm going to play the whole thing through now, and you're going to try to get it, okay? I'm not going to sing. I'm pretty sure I have details wrong. Doesn't matter. I got something I can repeat, so I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to play it a couple more times. The beginning part is the part we already have, and Stephen's got it right there in the chat, but I want you to get the rest of it. Here we go with the rest. Let's just go with that much for now. I'm going to play just that much. I'll play just that much again. I'm pretty sure there's actually another dotted quarter eighth pattern in there somewhere that I missed. Not worried. There's my melody now. I'll play it one more time, and then again, I'm going to want to hear what the rest of those pitches were. Here goes. So, we've already got the A, G, F sharp, D, D, E, A, F sharp. So, here is the next part. I want you to all tell me what the pitches are, starting from here. One of the first things I would want to know is what note did it end on? Bum, and the tonic is here. Da da dum. Oh, it's two steps away from the tonic. Do da dum. D, C sharp, B. I'm telling you, it ended on a B. So, as you're working out the rest of it, see if you can make sure that it ends on a B. And I want, yeah, someone give me some answers. Type them in here. So here are the notes that I want is this note. 2, 3. So I'm going to talk through how I would be getting the answer and how I mentally think of this. We have already had, we just had boo da dum. Now we have boo da dum. It's a very similar pattern. Starts on the same note but goes up a little higher. So instead of E A F sharp, it's E B goes up a little higher, but it comes down only a step. So we end up quite a bit higher. So it's actually E B A and then da dum starts walking down. G F sharp. And now bottom walks down a little bit of a triad there, leap, skips down a triad. F sharp, D, B. So E, A. So Graham's close with that one there. He's got the B, A. But you have it going, skipping down to the F sharp, but it actually just steps. G, F sharp. D, B is how that one goes. And this is the same sort of error that happens when we're trying to sing. Remember that one line where it skipped from 5 to 3? I mean, it didn't skip from 5 to 3, but some of us in our voices made it do that. Yeah, this type of error is going to happen often, and then we're just going to catch it. So Stephen's version, G, F sharp, D, B. Yeah, so what Stephen has there is correct. That's how I just said it. I think the actual melody goes something like this. Boo da 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 dum. No. Da dum dum. Yeah, maybe it is just that. I don't know. Da 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 dum. All right. So the rest of the melody. So we've got that much. We're going to finish this thing out. It then repeats itself. So this is not quite the original melody, right? The original melody was, but when it comes back, it uses that, sound that we just heard, and then continues. So I'll play that half of the melody again, and let's think through it. And, I'll play it a few times so you don't have to, put it in until you're confident, but... That part I'm pretty sure I've got correct. Play it again. I'll do it one more, and then I'm hoping to see some answers show up in the chat. So, what do y'all have? I'm going to start talking through it, and while we wait for the chat to catch up, and then hopefully someone will get an answer in before I finish explaining it. So we start off the same way. A, G, F sharp, leap up to the D. Then E, we have that same pattern we had before. E, B, A. And now it's going to continue up from there. B, C sharp, D. It's just walking up. And if you had any doubt about where you were, when you hit that high note, your ear should be saying, hey, I'm on the tonic. Does that jibe with where I'm at? Does this, can I hear it stepping up? Did I land on a 1? If so, you must have had some good answers leading to it. So 1D, C sharp, B, back up to the C sharp, then bottom, C sharp, A, B. That pattern of approaching that B with a step above and a step below, this is the place where there's a missed opportunity for a leading tone. But that's one of the things that makes it sound more folky, more uh, more modal, more like it's a 1,000-year-old song or a song from another planet that's still, because this was not a technologically advanced culture that he was trapped on. And yet they sort of were. There was sort of this weird aspect of the episode. But in any case, that's the thing. So A, G, F sharp, D, B, E, B, A, B, C sharp, D, C sharp, B, C sharp, A, B. There's, again, more to the composition than that, but not a lot more. It's just like another phrase or two that sometimes get used, because sometimes he plays a short version of it, sometimes they play longer versions of it, and then there's an orchestrated version, and then there's a follow-up episode where a pianist accompanies them and comes up with different harmonies. But notice about this piece, if I were to harmonize it based on my memory of how it goes and what I hear, it's something like this. Because most of the time he plays it, it's unaccompanied flute. But a couple of times, it's accompanied with, background music. So when we land on the B this time, the episode is called The Inner Light. The Inner Light. It's one of the most popular episodes. A lot of people list it as their favorite Star Trek episode of all time. Although, there's some weird stuff about it too. But it's moving. There's no getting around that. So then the next phrase. Something like that is kind of the basic harmonization. So it's really a 1, a 4, and a 5 in the major key, and then it's a 1 and a minor 5 and a 1 in a minor key. So as we start talking more about chords, we're going to see how common these chords built on scale degrees 1, 4, and 5 end up forming the foundation of so much folk music, and then classical music as well. And then as we go on into the harmony course, we'll get much more sophisticated with how we build chords and chord progressions. So anyhow, hopefully you found some of this useful, and I encourage you to go through that eyes and ears and work on singing through those things, and work on, actually trying to find some melodies like that to transcribe, and, to do like I just did, by listening to something and saying, can I get this thing down by ear like that? That's the story. And when I say it's a very moving episode, you kind of have to know a little bit of the story of, who these characters are to be perhaps moved by that particular episode. And yet, if you can just put some stuff aside, you might enjoy it. I don't know. So here we go with some ending music. Give me one of those days. All right, so it's hiccuping. That's okay. I'm just going to talk over it anyhow. So this has been the Music Masterclass. Hope you enjoyed some minor key sight singing and transcribing exercises. We're going to stay on the topic of minor keys for another week, but we'll probably morph into talking a little more about chords a little bit, and then we'll dive full on into chords in another week after that. Again, next week I will be in Florida. And we'll be coming to you from there, and we'll do my best to set up as reasonable of an environment for this sort of thing as I can. But, I don't know exactly what my studio setup will be, but we'll do something. I've already got some videos ready to go for you. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will be coming to you from Florida next week for both the cafe and the masterclass. So see you then. Bye, everyone.